Hello and welcome everybody to the first PlaySport Games Dev Diary. My name is Sam and today we'll be discussing the July update for Online, which was released earlier this week. Today we're joined by two of our designers, Luke and Will, where we will discuss the features, play some races and answer questions sent in from you, our fans. So Luke and Will, welcome. How are we doing today?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you as well.
Good stuff. I think if we're ready then, are we all ready to get started?
Sounds good.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'll run everyone through the new Race with Friends feature and creating a lobby. So you'll see once you reach tier 2 in the game now, you unlock the ability to race with friends, which is a new option in the race menu. There's a couple of ways you can invite your friends to lobbies. The first one is if you're connected to Facebook, you'll be able to see your Facebook friends. So I can see Luke here, as well as some of my other friends, and I can challenge them directly from here. But if you're not using Facebook or you don't want to invite Facebook friends, we can just create our own lobby at any time. And then players will be able to join that lobby using a code or a link that you can generate, which is what we're going to do for today's stream. So yeah, this is now I'm in a lobby, and I'm just going to send the link to Luke and Sam so they'll be able to join it. So yeah, the kind of like, I guess the cool thing with this update, right, Luke, is that we want people to be able to play how they want to play.
Yeah, 100%. You know, we're trying to give the players as much flexibility as possible. This feature has been in early access for a couple of weeks now, and we've had a few members of the Discord community and other members of the community playing it and providing some great feedback on what they want to see in it, what they want to do in it. And so we've added stuff to accommodate for that, which is great. I'm just joining now. I'm just putting in the code.
Yeah, sorry, I've got a dilemma. So I've just got to click through that.
Yeah, so when you join Play with Friends races, it won't take down your driver's contract or anything like that, or cost you any money to enter. But obviously, you could still get a dilemma before you go into the screen.
Yeah, so I've now just joined the lobby.
Cool. Yeah, so we can see Luke's in now.
Hang on a minute.
So Luke, do you want to talk us through the option screen?
Yeah. So again, basing on that feedback as well. So you can do any track in the race, any track in the lobby. So you can, any track that's in the championship calendar, you can do. You can change the layout. You can change the weather, the race length, the car performance. So if you have, if you're playing with somebody who's in a lower tier, you can play with them and adjust the car performance so that it's more fair. And we've also added this element of a mystery track. So if you don't want to know where you're going, you can use the mystery track, and then you won't know until you arrive. And then if you don't really care about where you're going, you can also use the random button in the top left-hand corner as well. The whole idea is that this is just as flexible as possible for players. So we've already seen some members of the community using this for tournament systems, which is great. But even if you don't want to do a tournament, if you just want to play with your friend, you can just open this up as soon as you reach tier 2, and then this becomes available for you to use. Yeah. So are you going to adjust the car performance, or are you going to keep it at 6 seconds? Because we played yesterday, and I did not do well. I did not do well at all. So I've come back with some different strategies, but I think we're going to need to set that car performance to probably the tier.
Yeah, so for this first race, there's just me, Luke, and Sam are going to do a race. And we're all in tier 7, so we'll leave that. We'll use the tiers performance because that keeps it the same as a normal career race. But if you want to play with friends who are a lower tier or a higher tier than you, there is this slider which you can set to 0, so the car performance will be equal. But yeah, for now we'll use the tiers performance, and let's keep it on a mystery track. And we'll just do a short race for the first one.
Yeah, sounds good.
It's Sam. Cool. So everyone's in the lobby, and there's a couple of options in this lobby screen as well. So once you have 2 players in, you can start the race once everyone's ready. There's a little chat where you can just send small messages to each other like hi or whatever and start the race, things like that. And then the last option is whether you want to play with just the people in the lobby. So like in this lobby, there's only 3 of us rather than 10 teams. So we have an option, we can fill the lobby with bots, or you can just play with the 3 teams. So it's completely up to you. What do you reckon, Sam? Should we have bots or just the three of us?
I think let's start with just the three of us. Let's keep it play sport only.
Cool. So
Gives me a better chance.
yeah.
True. It's true.
So if everyone's ready, let's race.
Let's do it.
Let's
Find out where we're going.
Singapore. So yeah, be exciting. Don't know if it's A or B yet, but they're obviously pretty different layouts. Another cool
Yeah, we were
feature
planning
of Race with Friends as
Yeah, go
well is that you can play with your friends from anywhere in the world. So it will use the host's server location. So for us, Europe, but players from Asia or America can join as well. They obviously they might have not the greatest connection, but you can play with your friends all around the world. So that's pretty cool.
I like your car, Will.
Thank you. Yeah, I've got the
Funky livery.
80s car on with one of the crazy liveries. Looks like it's going to be dry to start at least, which is surprising for Singapore.
Yeah. Yeah, so yesterday I was trying a strategy with the soft tyre, getting a soft tyre bonus, but it was not working out. So I've gone full ERS this time. I've got Friends and Lothra, and I've got ERS on both, so fingers crossed.
I'm going to zoom right in to the start.
Nice colourful car livery.
Yeah, easy to tell as well.
So who are you playing with at the moment, Will?
So I'm using Norman NATO and Mitch Evans. They work quite well together because I've got NATO's obviously the best qualifier in the game. Straight leads into that. He's got the best car, and I'm using push to pass him to try and keep him in the lead because Mitch Evans has got the chaser trait on him, so he's working well. He's not the increase, so I can use NATO to try and stay ahead of him in the early qualifiers. Just back to the distant bonus fails. And also for other drivers as well. If no one in this race is clear, if someone's used to burn, things like that, like the push to pass, NATO's a good way to deny them that boost. The game sound.
Yeah, I'm.
That's muted the game sound.
Has that muted the game sound?
I don't know.
Can anybody in the chat hear the? Yeah, I think it has now been fixed.
Cool, yeah. That's alright. We all know what a car sounds like. As nice as the car sounds are.
Well, it's looking good for me. I'm in second place at the moment, which is better than yesterday.
It's just, closer than yesterday in the practice run.
Yeah, that was fairly humiliating.
Yeah, so I'm just going to try and extend NATO. Just about do another couple of laps to keep him out front and make sure Evans is getting his boost. The other cool thing about NATO is because his qualifying power is so high, you can, unless obviously someone else has NATO, you can start on pole using a set of medium tyres, which is obviously what I did in this race, which is quite handy.
Yeah.
Just gives you a couple more options in a race. And I'm using the Hammer engine with him as well, which is obviously kind of basically built to give you the best performance.
Yeah, I'm using the Steinman engine with bootstrap power, which we'll go into. We've buffed the one of the traits on the Steinman to give you more reliability when you pit, so that this strategy becomes a bit more viable. But I'm not doing too great. My reliability has taken a kicking.
Right now, there's a three-way fight for what will probably be in the net lead once NATO pits, though, because he's pretty slow at the moment.
Yeah, I'm
I've
just
gone
about to pit.
went a little bit too far on the tyres. Evans is also using final push as his strategy, which is why I've been trying to keep in party mode and eco mode for the whole race, because that obviously gives him an extra bonus when he's in the red zone.
Nice. Who are you driving with, Sam?
I've gone for Roland and Barami. Both have got power attack mode and power ERS strategies. I always tend to go for those strategies.
So you're going to be trying to make the most of Wemmy's new trait for the undercut, right?
Indeed, although this race is not highlighting that.
Yeah, short races don't really help Wemmy much, right? Because obviously, the less laps there are, the less pit stops people tend to do.
That's true. It's quite close, right? Well, I am starting to fall behind now.
1-2 for Will, it looks like.
So basically just a repeat of yesterday, Will.
Yes.
So for the next race, we're going to open up the lobby to anyone watching the stream. So we'll, as we said earlier, if you've already got the game downloaded, you'll be able to join using a code, which we'll show at the start of the when we get back to the lobby screen.
Yeah, so I can fall further back down the grid. I'll take a podium. I was better than yesterday. Nice. Good result, Will.
I like your motto as well, like a bit of a MM classic throwback. Yeah, so the post-race flow is reasonably similar as well, which is cool. It always uses points for all in Race of Friends, but obviously if you were running like a tournament or something like that with a group of friends, you can obviously just make up your own point system to track that.
Is this a good time to show off the new hide strategy feature as well? Nice. Yeah, so this is new. Once you reach tier 7, you can now hide your strategies, which will hide your powertrain and your strategy. But as said, it's only available from tier 7.
Yeah,
so we'll never know. We'll never know what Sam was using.
Yeah, which is something that the community have requested a lot, right? Just obviously it's great to be able to view other people's strategies and learn from them when you're progressing through the game. But once that people get to that top level in tier 7 and people are trying to come up with crazy strategies, obviously understandably they want to keep that quiet once they figure out something cool.
Yeah, and that as well came from the early access and feedback from that. Oh, nice. We've got already.
Yeah, there's a couple of people who joined already, but because I think I left the stream, I accidentally didn't hide it quick enough. But yeah, so you can see in the bottom left corner, there's that share code, the D4HE8NN7. And if you input that and click join in the play with friends screen, you'll be able to join our lobby. I guess is a good time. Should we have a look at some of the balance changes now?
Yeah. Yes. In addition to, obviously, the player friends is our main feature for this patch, but we've also made some balancing changes to dual drivers and powertrains. We've got new traits and new drivers, which do you want to go to this, the drivers list?
Yeah, so it's just a good time to highlight another nice little feature of Player Friends is that when you're not readied up or at any time when you're the host, you can just press the home button to go and change your engine, look at drivers if you want to sign a different driver, change your strategy, all those sorts of things. So you don't have to leave the lobby to do any of that, which is pretty handy.
Nice. Yeah, so should we look through the scouting list and start with the new drivers?
Yep, so should start from the bottom?
So let's start from the bottom. We've got 3 new drivers that are joining in this update. The first one is Caitlin Wood. This is our first real female driver in Motorsport Manager Online. And she comes with a really good trait, Tenacious, which has already been on some drivers before. But Tenacious gives the car plus 25 performance and plus 10 energy efficiency at level 1, which at the lower levels, this is going to be huge. This is going to be a real pro strat, we think. And that's only at level 1. When it gets to level 3, it just gets better. So we're very excited to see how new players use Caitlin Wood in their team. Moving up from Caitlin Wood, we've got Daniel Frost, who is our first Singaporean driver. Daniel comes in at 70 OVR, and he has the Pit Stop Pro trait, which can give you a huge tactical boost in mid-tier championships. He also has a really good qualifying starting stat, so I think he's going to be used quite a fair bit in the mid-tier. And then we have one more driver entering the game, which is Jordan King, who starts at 79 OVR, and he comes with the Rock Solid trait, which is great if you're planning strategies which revolve around, pushing the car to its limits, pushing that reliability to its limits. So that should be really interesting. You may have noticed next to Jordan King, there is Harry Chapman, who has a new trait. This new trait is called the Insider trait. And what this is going to give you is additional materials. So we've heard the feedback, people feeling like they need some more materials. So this is a step towards that and trying to improve that within your team. So at level 1, this is going to give you an additional material type, but at level 3, this is going to give you 3 material types every race. So he's going to be great if you've started a new championship and you want to upgrade your car quickly. And then in a similar vein, we've also got Mars. Mars has had a trait change to a new trait, which is called Team Player. And this trait gives Mar and his teammate an XP improvement rate buff. So what we try to do, especially with these 2 drivers, is give players a new option when looking for a driver hire. Previously, players would look at how a driver would impact the race, but these new traits kind of focus on the HQ and management side. So it kind of gives you a more interesting decision. Do you go for a driver who's going to get you on the podium, or do you want a driver who's going to be a good fit for the team? So in this update, we've tried to sort of give you more options when hiring drivers and kind of focus around how that's going to help back at the HQ as opposed to just on track. But we haven't forgotten about the on-track stuff. Will, do you want to chat through the high-level driver trait balance improvements?
Yeah, so we've done a bit of a rebalance and added again some other new traits to some of the top tier Formula E drivers to try and keep the game fresh for people that have been playing the game a long time. So the first one's Brendan Hartley, who's now got this brand new trait again called Slipstreamer, which massively boosts his energy burn rate massively reduces his energy burn rate when he's behind his teammate. So this at the max level allows you to do stuff like do entire races pretty much in party mode, things like that. But again, he has to be behind his teammate. So it's quite an interesting strategy. We've not seen people using it a ton yet. But obviously he's not the best driver in the game either, but I think it's pretty cool, and I think people are going to come up with some interesting stuff with that trait. The next driver who's had a trait change is Robin Frines, who is one of the best drivers in the game. He's got a brand new trait called Late Breaker, and this is the first one of a series of new traits we've kind of added where it's a new trait condition. So this trait is only active when Robin's in the Super Overtake engine mode. So there's only certain engines he can use it with, things like that. And it removes the red zone when he's in that engine mode, boosts his ERS charge rate, and boosts his overtaking. So this should work really well with experimental hybrids and bootstrap power, because obviously it's helping save reliability by having the red zone, while also boosting that charge rate and keeping you in a higher engine mode than normal. So yeah, it's pretty cool. People I think have been using him pretty effectively as well so far. The next driver who hasn't got a new trait, but we fixed this trait, is Mario Engel. So the Street Track Pro trait, I know a lot of people, there was a bug there which had been flagged up by people before, and the same with the Oval Track Pro trait. So those are both working now. So he's now a lot more powerful if you're doing a track like Cape Town, which is quite cool, quite exciting. Next driver that's got a new trait is Sam Bird, another very high tier driver. Again, he's got a brand new trait called Always Prepared, which is again like meant to couple with those top tier ERS strategies that burn your reliability while using them. So he now, similarly to the micro repairs strategy and the Steinman engine, you will gain reliability when using Sam Bird now. Every time you do a pit stop, it's 10% reliability when you're at his maximum level. So it's quite powerful, and it just lets you use them more, use those power modes more without having to fix the car as much, which is obviously very costly. And then there's 2 more, I believe. So Jerome D'Ambrosio, who has a second one of these engine mode traits. His one is called Send It, and it's active when you're in the overtake mode, and it just gives him a massive boost to his race stat, which obviously makes him much faster, give him much quicker race pace, and his overtaking stat when he's in that mode. So again, like this just makes D'Ambrosio a really fast driver when you're using him. And then the final one is for Sebastian Buemi, who's always been equal with Vern in stats, in that they're the 2 drivers in the game that can reach 100 in every stat, as you can see here when he's max level. But his trait was never quite as strong as Vern's, so we wanted to give him, again, a new trait to make him much more exciting. So he's got Tactician, which during outlaps makes him 2 seconds faster and reduces his energy burn rate, which again plays into obviously multi-stop races, which is something we weren't seeing a lot of multi-stop races at the highest end of the game. Most races were one-stops, even with super attack and things like that. So this firstly encourages people to do more stops and makes that quicker, but also makes Buemi useful again at the high tier, which is really cool.
Okay, thank you, Will, for that. So all these changes will...
So that's kind of most of the drivers, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Don't think we've missed anyone.
We've also done some
No, I think that's
balance
it.
changes to the powertrains.
Should we move on to powertrain?
Yeah, I'll go to the
Yeah.
screen.
Let's do that. Cool. Yeah, I'll start with the first one, the Katana. Yeah. So what we tried to do is make most of the engines now as competitive as possible. So we did have a bit of a problem in the previous patch where the Rossini was kind of dominant. It kind of had a pretty overpowering strategies to it. So what we've tried to do is look at the engines and kind of balance them in a way where there's not one engine that's better than another, but an engine will sort of like fit with the play style that you want to do. So every engine has a characteristic. So for example, Katana, what we've done is we've upped the max reliability, so it can now reach 70% reliability, but we've also added a new trait, and that trait is tire. No, it's not. Sorry, it's mediums. Are you on that? Yeah, the medium focus. So what this is going to do? It's going to make your medium tires when they're fresh as fast as a soft tire. And so that, in conjunction with the tire flow tech and the adjustable grip, means that this engine is definitely going to be something like a one-stop or a zero-stop kind of engine. Whereas before, it was kind of just like a better version of the Meso. And you're kind of going to see that trend with all the other engines, that each one has like a very clear kind of goal that you want to do with it, and it synergizes very well with particular strategies. So do you want to talk about the next one, Will?
Yeah, so the Merso hasn't had any changes. So the next engine that's had a couple of changes is the Texture. Actually, it's had one change, but it's quite a big one. Previously, the Texture only had 2 engine modes. Now it still only has 2 engine modes, but you can purchase Party Mode to replace Super Overtake once you complete the HQ tree, which is pretty cool because obviously just Party Mode is obviously the fastest engine mode in the game. It uses the most fuel and things like that, but it's really quick. But because the Texture has the highest energy efficiency in the game, Party Mode makes a lot of sense with it. It makes the engine a lot more viable. And again, because the Tetra has these electric outlaps and the outlap optimization traits, it works well with Buemi now, who's got that tactician trait. So to encourage you to do more stops, the Tetra plays into that. Using hardly any fuel on outlaps means as well you can just stay in party mode for longer. So works really well with multi-stop races.
Nice.
Do you want to talk about the hammer, Luke?
Yeah, I'll talk about the hammer. So a couple of small tweaks to the hammer. The base energy efficiency has been increased from 15 to 25, and we've also increased the first lap setup trait from 1 lap to 2 laps. And so what this is kind of going to do is, the hammer's great at getting you up there in the qualifying. So having that trait last for 2 laps means that you can get kind of past that initial race start phase, which can be fairly random, and then this will just persist through to the second lap, and makes it a very clear engine if you're going to want to start at the front of the grid. So that's great with a Vern or other drivers that have a leader trait or something like that. But again, small changes, but directs it into a more kind of synergizing direction. Do you want to talk about the Steinman?
Yeah, so the Steinman has always been the engine to use, really, if you're using an ERS mode. It's not had any massive changes for this update. We've just buffed the pit repairs trait on it. So that used to be plus 10% every time you do a pit stop. Now it's plus 20%. And again, similarly to Sam Bird, that's just to go with those high-end bootstrap power experimental hybrid strategies like that are using a lot of ERS, but also a lot of reliability. So potentially, if you combine this with Sam Bird, you might not have to fix in a race now, which obviously saves you a massive amount of time when you're running those strategies.
Yeah. And then lastly, the Rossini engine basically has had just a bit of a nerf, really, and a bit of a change around. So the first thing is that the infamous tire vents trait has had a bit of a nerf. It was too powerful. It was making the tires last too long. So tires now last a little bit less on that. But we've also swapped out the engine cooling trait for a new trait, which provides a bonus when overtaking in the red zone. So we've kind of pivoted the Rossini to be a pure red zone powertrain. So it now is great with drivers who have fearless. It's great with strategies that push the red zone, but it's definitely more situated for those kind of strategies now. So it's slightly nerfed, but it's also been pushed in a direction where it will synergize a lot better with those kind of strategies. And I think that's all of it, right, Will?
Yeah, also just saw a couple of people asking in the Twitch chat about what outlaps are. So yeah, any trait in the game that is activated during outlaps means that it will be active the lap after a pit stop. So the more pit stops you do, the more bonus and more benefit you'll get from using traits like that.
Yeah, so it'll just last for the whole lap after a pit stop.
Yeah, so that's all the engines. Like I said, there wasn't any changes to the Mercer. The Mercer is obviously the start engine, so we're not too worried if it's not great at the top tier.
Yeah.
Awesome. Plenty of things to change and freshen up your strategies and combos. What was the thinking between these changes? Was it just things you observed from the forums and players?
It's kind of part of this idea going forward where, you know, we just want to make sure the game is as competitive as possible, especially at those top tiers. We've got a really good community, and that community is just continuing to grow. And so we want to make sure that the meta doesn't get stale at the top end. In the future, you know, we're going to keep looking at this and making sure that it's balanced, but we wanted to do a big pass at the moment just to make sure that engines are viable, new drivers sort of spice up the meta a bit, kind of get rid of that red zone final push meta. And just keep it, you know, the ideal scenario would be you and me could go into a race with completely different strategies and they'd both be viable because, you know, we're coming at it from different angles, right? And so every kind of balance change we do is aimed towards sort of achieving that goal. You in a little contract negotiation here, Will?
Yeah, I thought I'd just sign up Sam Bird and try out his new trait.
Nice.
If I can. I just realised I've only just got enough money. So we'll see if he might not be interested in joining me. He is. That's good. Thanks, Sam. Yeah, I'm gonna replace Norman with him. I like Mitch Evans, so we'll keep those line up. It looks like we've got 10 players in the lobby now as well. So should we head to a race?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
I don't know, obviously some of these players might not be tier 7, so for this race we'll set the performance impact to 0 and we'll change it to a long race.
Yeah, so everybody just needs to tap ready in the lobby before we can start.
Yeah.
This can either turn out one or two ways, or this can either embarrass us or do us proud.
Yeah, this might be quite embarrassing for us.
Yeah.
Just waiting for Royal GP to ready up.
Here we go.
There we go. Cool. Yeah, so let's roll. See what track we get. It's really exciting. I think the mystery track, like,
yeah,
keeps
definitely
it fresh every race as well. You can't just practice the same track. Munich.
Nice. Good tracks.
Yeah, especially as like, it's not true for every track, but different strategies are stronger and weaker at different tracks depending on the amount of laps, things like that. So, yeah, it just keeps people on their toes.
Yeah.
People cheering for their favourite players in the Twitch chat, which is cool. No one's cheering for us.
No, nobody's cheering for us. Not with my performance last race. Yeah, this should be good.
It's like, again, looks like there's going to be no rain.
But will there be a VSC? That's the question.
Yeah, that is the big question with another big question from the new update.
Yeah, so we've got a new feature in this update, which is VSCs. And basically they can happen anytime if you're in a championship where they're enabled. And if a yellow flag does occur, a VSC will come up and all cars are speed limited and no overtaking can occur. And already this has spiced up races. This helps with pit strategies. It's just a good addition. So we'll see if one comes up.
Yeah, like you say, they don't appear every race, so we'll have to see. I've just realised I didn't change my engine to the Steinman, even though I'm using, and I didn't change the bootstrap power, which is what I was planning to do, to show.
Already with the excuses.
Yes, yeah.
We'll see. He's got the lead for now, so that's a good start. Obviously, it's always useful to get reliability in the pit stops, though, so it's not the end of the world.
Well, it's kind of like having the micro repairs trait, right? But the strategy, but already on a driver.
Exactly, yeah. And the key thing for me right now is trying to keep this trying to get Vern behind, because Vern's trait is the leader trait. So yeah, we want to make sure he's not in the lead for as long as possible.
Yeah, because if he gets into the lead, he's going to get a huge speed bonus there.
Yeah, he gets just over half a second a lap, which is pretty powerful. So if I
Yeah.
can keep him behind, it's going to help everyone, but obviously mainly myself.
Yeah, he's such a good guy, Will. You know, just helping us all out.
I don't know if we wanted to answer any questions while we're doing this race, or so we've got a lot of people sending questions before the stream.
Yeah. Yeah, you want me to...
we can start with one.
Yeah, go for it.
So yeah, we've been asking for questions from the community, and we've got a very good response. So thank you, everybody. So if we start with one question now, what is your idea for keeping the community engaged after reaching master tier?
Yeah, that's a cool question. Yeah, so we're super excited about the long-term plans for tier 7 and how we can make it a bit more dynamic and player driven. We don't want to say too much right now, but masters is definitely a goal for us in the future. In the short term, we're going to be investigating more ways we can make races more interesting. So we're currently investigating real safety cars and refueling as well. So these should hopefully be things that come in the future, but masters is definitely on our mind. It's definitely something that we want to improve. And again, like this balance pass kind of is leaning towards that, right? We want to make sure that all engines are viable in the top tier. You know, we want to make sure that you can go with different drivers and different strategies. And so we're just going to be continuing to look at the top end and making sure that it's balanced and fun and interesting.
Cool. So more incoming plates to spin during a race.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's another thing, right? Like, as players reach the top tiers, you know, it's infinitely more interesting to have more plates to spin, right? So we'll gradually introduce those to players throughout their career. But in tier 7, right, that's going to be the pinnacle of it. We now need to pit because, once again, my reliability is looking good. Not all of us have Sam. Well, you know, not all of us have Sam Bird, so some of us have to pit and fix.
Oh, Vern's going to get through, I think. He's got better tyres than me. I've not got enough push to pass left to keep him behind.
Yeah.
I could try, but I don't think it's going to happen. Because once he gets away from me, it's game over. Because Samba, I've played all my tricks. I've used all my push to pass. I've done my pit stop. So,
not good.
Unfortunately,
You've let us down.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. Maybe he'll have to pit again, but if he's conserving, he'll be all right. Or if obviously, there's another point is that a couple of the strategies in the game changed for this update. So if he's using experimental hybrid or defense mode, which both now have the ability to freeze your tires, he could be going for a very long stint, even though he's on medium tires.
Yeah.
So that's another thing you've got to bear in mind.
And you know, if they've hidden their strategy, we'll never know.
Exactly, yeah. So we'll have to check after the race. He's absolutely, like you say, now Vern's got the lead. He's gone.
Yeah.
Bird's not. I've also had to stop using my super overtake mode because first to conserve my reliability, and I'm going to have to start conserving fuel soon as well. So it hasn't helped me there. We're still second in the team's championship. Oh no, we're not. Yes, we're winning the team's championship now. Good stuff. So he has had to pit, just giving us the lead back, and he's dropped behind both of Roynal GP's cars. So it's just more cars for Vern to pass without his bonus, which is really good.
Nice.
Hopefully, Massa's going to do some blocking for me and help me out here.
I'm just sitting comfortably in 13th and 14th. You know, I'll take that.
We've got quite a good spread of drivers in here, actually. It's cool.
Yeah.
So I see some Chapmans and Norths as well, Turveys, Hawksworths, D'Ambrosios. It's a good mixture.
Yeah, this is really
we're
cool.
coming into traffic now for Bird, so we'll have to see if he can clear it quickly.
One of my drivers is now on 14% reliability. So this is going to be
nail-biting.
It's going to be fun. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to pit. Can't risk it.
Someone says someone's with some quality Lewis Hamilton quotes in the chat as well, which is good. Well, they're really closing in now. The eco mode and harder tyres for Vern. Not for Vern, sorry, for Bird. I'm not sure he's going to be able to get behind. I think I've got a podium at least. So that's pretty. Be happy with a podium, but so we want to win. It's a great battle though, with coming up to 2 laps to go, 3 cars within 2 seconds.
I'm watching it on the screen.
Although Vern's
is
gone
great.
now. Yeah. He's away. Which is cool though,
He's
seeing.
gone.
I think he did I think Vern did a 2-stop run. Obviously, we'll see after the race, but it's cool. Like we were saying earlier, in the previous patch, in Tier 7 and Tier 6, we were basically only seeing 1-stop races. And it was the quickest way to do the races, partially because of the Rossini's trait, which is why we nerfed that a bit, and partially because of super attack being so strong and being able to 1-stop with that. So it's good to see that, that's not a certain thing anymore, right? Obviously, I did a 1-stop in this race, and I'm not going to win, unfortunately. But it is a close fight for second between me and Royne, although, as I say that, he's got a brilliant pass down the inside. Bird's he's doing a bit of a trolley train. But as soon as these guys are getting past him, they're gone. But he put up a good defense.
But it's cool just to see all these different drives and different strategies taking place, right? This is kind of what we're aiming towards and what we'll continue to aim towards. This patch especially has had a lot of feedback from the community, especially in terms of balance. And going forward, we're just going to hopefully continue doing that and listening to the community and what they're seeing as overpowered, keeping an eye on the meta a bit more. Nice.
Yeah, for sure.
And we'll get to the championship.
Yeah, second place is the championship for me as well. It's pretty good.
Well played.
Oh, it's really cool as well. Like to see a full 10-player lobby is really cool in play with friends. Oh, and you can see AESRP, motto best in the world, which means that at some point he was ranked #1 in the global leaderboard. So that's an exclusive motto that the only way to get that is to have ranked #1 in the world in the leaderboard for a week. So which again is like that wasn't new for this update, but it's just a cool little thing to highlight.
It's the same with the livery,
I don't feel so bad about him beating me now as well. Oh yeah, and the livery. Yeah, you're right, Luke. Yeah, the livery he's using, this ice livery as well, is exclusive. The only way to unlock that is to rank #1 in the world for a week. So there's other ones as well for top 10%, top 25%. So there's things to aim for as a player, which is cool.
Yeah, and we've seen a great response from that, and this is something that we're going to look at in the future as well, like how we can keep that kind of competitive aspect exciting and what we can give players.
So as you can see, unfortunately, he's hidden his strategy, so we can't see what he was doing. But you can see he did a 2-stop. Very short stints on the medium tyres, but obviously they'll just last. It probably meant he could attack for the whole stint rather than using the soft and not being able to attack the whole time. So
yeah, that was great. That was a really cool race, especially to watch at the top. That was really cool.
Yeah, it's a 0-stop coming in ninth as well, so it's cool. It's like there's just more strategies now, right? There's some 1-stops, some 2-stops, some 0-stops. No 3-stops, but yeah, which is what we want to see, right? We don't want everyone to be forced to do the same thing, and that to be the only way to be competitive in the game.
Exactly, yeah. No, this is great. Cool. So did we want to answer a few more questions?
Yeah, I think we'll move on to some more questions. But I think it might be worth, Luke and I, if we leave the lobby so it frees up some more slots, and Will can continue his battle with other players.
I'm going to go and swap my engine and stuff as well, like I said, so that we can get the full performance out of Sandbird's trait.
Okay. While you are doing that, Luke, are you free to answer a question?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so the next question is, will there be brand new strategies and liveries, and tracks added to the game in the future?
Yeah, so strategies and liveries are always things that we're going to be looking into. They just make the game, infinitely more interesting. Tracks not off the table, but they're less of a priority currently. At the moment, we want to focus on, keeping the game competitive, keeping strategies, exciting. So those are our priorities at the moment. It's just not something we're looking at right now.
Okay. And then we have a similar question, but more towards Formula E tracks, Berlin ?
Yeah. So again, currently we're not working on any tracks, Formula E or otherwise, but we can confirm that we're going to be adding the newest Formula E drivers, Rene Rast and Alex Lynn, in an update before the Berlin E-Prix in August. So we're pretty excited about that. We're going to try and keep as up to date as possible with that, which will be good. But like I said, we're not working on any tracks right now.
Okay. Will you look at an option to do something with the materials when you are maxed?
Yeah, so this kind of feeds back into that original question in the tier 7 stuff. Materials, we totally see that there's an issue at the moment. There's no way to use them right once you've maxed out your car, but this is something that we're looking to fix in future updates. We kind of want to make tier 7 a bit more player driven, a bit more sort of community focused, and we think that we've got some interesting ways on how players could use materials to do that. So yeah, materials is on the list of things that we're looking into, and going forward, it's definitely something that we're investigating on how to fix.
Okay. Then moving on to a question about parts. What is the max level for parts, and how many updates are we expecting for the game?
So the maximum part level is 100, but once you reach level 100, players still have to build new parts to stop them wearing out. We don't have like a set number of updates that we're going to do. We are, as we keep saying, we're here for the long haul. We want to make sure that MM Online is the best multiplayer motorsport game on mobile. So there's no number there. We're just working towards making it better. That's kind of our focus. Just keep improving the game.
Okay. Another similar one.
One spot in the lobby quickly as well, just in case there's anyone who wants to join. So I'll leave the code up there now for a second, just to see if anyone else wants to join.
Cool. Any other questions?
Yeah, while we're waiting, another similar one about future plans. Are you guys planning to add a young driver academy?
Yeah, so this was great in MMM3. One of my favorite features that we did in MMM3. But right now, we don't currently have plans to include it in MMO. But as I said before, we're here for the long haul, and if it looks like there's a good opportunity to include it in the future, we'll definitely investigate it. But right now, no, that's an MMM3 kind of feature.
Okay. Well, lobbies will fill up now. So.
Yeah, it's looking good. You just need a couple of people to ready up, right?
Yep, just waiting on Arabian Energy and Street.
When we start that race, can you take us through your strategies, Will, and take us through what your plans are?
Yeah, I was going to sign Boemi for this race, but I've run out of cash. My team, we need some new sponsors, so we're sticking with Sam Bird and Mitch Evans, but that's okay. They're a top tier driver combo, so and I've got them both at max level, which is really good as well, obviously. Vancouver this time. Yeah, so I've not changed much. I've not touched Mitch's car. All I've done is change Sam Bird to use the Steinman engine and to use Bootstrap Power. So if people don't know, so Bootstrap Power is the last strategy you unlock in the game, and it is a really powerful ERS power mode. So it makes your car really quick while it's active. But all the time it's active, it will tick down your car's reliability out, which is a small change for this update. Previously, as soon as you clicked the button, it would use 10% straight away, which was okay, but we kind of found that it stopped you using it how you wanted to, because you'd have to use the whole charge in one go, because otherwise you've wasted 5-6% of your reliability or whatever. So now it just ticks over time. So it still does about the same amount if you do a whole charge, but you can choose where you use that reliability. It must be a very short Vancouver layout because it's 18 laps of
18 laps. Yeah, I've just seen that.
Well, we've got a 1-2 on the grid for someone using the classic Jenny North James Collado combo, which is a pretty cool combo.
It should be a good race.
Have team chemistry, so they boost each other. We're much further down the grid this time. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get on the podium for this race, but we'll try.
Nice. Yeah, 18
so
laps.
I'm using that combination with Sam Bird, as we said before, so I should get 30% reliability back every time I pit. So hopefully, because it's an 18 lap race as well, we're probably going to be doing quite a lot of pit stops. Hopefully that means I can not have to repair my car through this race while still getting the most out of my Bootstrap Power, because the Steinman also has this engine mode, the charge engine mode, which makes my ERS charge faster. It's also really powerful.
should be good. Yeah, you're already in 7th, right? So it's looking.
Yeah, it's a pretty close fight at the moment. But the leader's miles ahead. I don't know what strategy they're using, but they've got a really good lead. Maybe they're using clean air setup or perfect race start, something like that.
Could be potentially perfect race start. Yeah.
We'll see if we start to reel them. They still seem to be pulling away, so probably maybe not perfect race start, but yeah, it could be clean air setup. Oh, we've got some rain, so that keeps it exciting, which is good.
Oh.
You might get a VSC as well.
Yeah, you never know. Like we say, it's not that rare, so if we go through races, I'd be quite surprised.
Yeah.
Well, this is not quite. These people that have started on medium tires here, it's going to work out quite well for because they're not going to have to do a mid stop. But I'm not going to be able to make it. So, and we're going to stack because my cars are right next to each other, which is a bit of a pain.
Oof.
Luckily, I've got pretty good pit stop speed, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, we're only going to do 2 laps, I guess, before the rain hits.
So you're just going to go all out.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, we should be, yeah, but I forgot. I hadn't got it in the all out. But yeah, let's go all out. As you can see, Bird's back up to his max reliability because of that, without having to fix a really, really powerful trait.
Yeah, that's great.
And this lap, we're going to come in for the. You can see the rain's coming in now. I think we're going to go straight onto the inters because we don't want them getting out, losing loads of time.
You've managed to hold your position though.
Yeah, it's not been too bad, has it? We've gone up a little bit. I think we started 12th and 13th, so
yeah.
Hopefully now the rain's hit. Bird can keep making up places as the race goes on.
I mean, you've got rapid pit stops there.
Yes, yeah, and another benefit of the Steinman engine is that it does increase my pit stops, decrease my pit stop time, stationary time, so which is pretty good. Oh, we're getting blocked now by Royal GP's Degrassi, the car that we fought against for the podium in the last race. Bird's got the better of him this time though, which is good for me. But
this is quite a tense fight, right?
Yeah, Vern's now got the lead as well. You can see at the front, RSP's Vern out front now. So he's probably going to pull away, like we were saying in the previous race. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have more questions or from people.
I think there's a couple, right?
Let's have a look. I think we did most of them. Oh, we have one about plans for esports in the future.
Yeah, so we don't have any plans at the moment, but I think what's really cool to see is that already players are creating their own tournaments through the Race with Friends system. We hope this is something that's just going to continue to grow. Really, nothing to say from that on our end, but it's great to see the community doing that, and it's just exciting to see where that can go and what can happen with that. And we'll be keeping an eye on that kind of stuff and looking at what the community do and kind of what the community requests. But yeah, that's kind of where we are with that at the moment.
Cool. And then we have, I think, the last one about changes to HQ projects.
Yeah, so at the moment, you kind of get to level 10 on HQ and there's not much there. Obviously increases your staff, but there's no new projects or anything. Right now, this isn't a super priority for us. Again, we're trying to make sure that the race balance is key. But going forward, we're looking at ways at how we can improve the end game experience, and potentially there's things we can do in that to sort of bring in HQ back into the fold. It's something that we're looking at, and we know that there's more stuff we could do to it, right? It's a very flexible system. But right now, again, priority is just making sure the races are as competitive as possible. It looks like it's going to get to wets there, Will. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think we're going to push and have to swap over to them right at the end.
So you're gonna make
the swap. It's not really played out. The weather's not played into my hand really.
I don't think it's played into anyone's hands there.
No. Well, we've got a couple of people. Well, it's playing into Vern's hand again, and Degrassi in third, right? They're low on their tires. They weren't going to make it to the end, so it's played in a bit to their hands.
That's true.
This track being, obviously I'm getting lapped now, unlike the last race. So this track being so short causes a lot of chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a tiny. Is it our smallest track?
Yeah, it's the shortest track in the game.
Yeah.
Lengthwise, I'm not sure exactly lap time, but yeah, it's very small.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't get used much in the championships, but it's cool to see.
It would have been the perfect race for me to try attack mode actually, though. If I'd known
I was going
this
to
is where
say,
we were
yeah.
going, yeah, the attack mode is very strong here because attack mode is the only one of the energy boosts in the game. Which obviously attack mode is based on real life Formula E attack mode, so it lasts an amount of time instead of a distance, so it lasts 4 minutes, just like in real life Formula E. But the boost you get is per lap. So the shorter the lap time, the more laps you can complete in 4 minutes, the more boost you get from it. So that's a top tip for attack mode, which there's another strategy that's been buffed slightly for this patch. So yeah,
yeah, we've given that a slight,
giving. If you've used it before, yeah, it's worth giving it another go. It looks like we're not going to get a VSC, which is very sad.
You'll see that for yourself when you download it for free.
Yeah, it's worth saying as well. There's links in the bio. There's links to both the Google Play Store and the iPhone, iOS Store. If you want to go and grab the game,
yeah, the App Store.
Luke says it's completely free, so there's nothing to lose.
And it's out now. This update's live. As soon as you hit tier 2, you can race with your friends.
Yeah, which is pretty quick to get through that first tier.
Yeah,
it's mostly just teaching you about the game. So we had 3 different cars on the podium, 3 different teams on the podium, which is really cool, and 3 different drivers on the podium, which is really cool.
Jenny North.
Yeah, Jenny North getting the podium, who was obviously pole position, and we were saying at the start of the race, had a really good lead, so it's cool to see that come through. And 2 players that won in the first race getting on the podium, and then Vern winning again, the Master.
That was great. And the weather really, I mean, you did well, all things considered with that weather.
We went forward a bit, so that's good, isn't it? Yeah, you can't really, going forward's always good.
Firmly mid-table there.
Yep, good battles all throughout. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone crazy strategies. Some 3 stops, 2 stops, 4 stops, no 5 stops. I don't think there was a 1 stop from north at the back.
Wow.
Not changing over to the wet tires there maybe hurt North. So maybe this person was doing they got their strategy hidden, but maybe they were doing, again, like we were saying, a defense mode or something like that, which plays really well into a dry race. But if it starts raining, can really throw you off.
Yeah, it's just great to see so many different sort of tire strategies there, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's really cool.
It's exciting.
Hopefully, it just keeps the game more interesting for everyone, right? Having more variance in strategy.
Definitely.
Okay, I think we are heading up to the time allotted.
Fantastic.
But yeah, hopefully that's given a taster to everyone about this new update, which is, again, live currently. So make sure you're all updated to latest versions. I want to say thank you to Will and Luke for your time and discussing everything in this patch.
Oh, thank you. And thank you to everybody who joined us in those races. That was great.
Yeah, it's great to have some 10-player races with the community. Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do more of that. And it's good to see everyone hopefully enjoying the update.
Indeed. Yeah. So yeah, thanks to everyone for the questions as well. That helped us today. And yeah, thank you for watching. Keep racing and stay tuned to our various social media platforms for latest news and updates.